Welcome to my review of the ENGWE O20 Boost. ENGWE told me they was launching it and asked me if I'd like to review it, and obviously the answer was yes. Now, I'll be honest, when I first saw it I kind of just thought it's the L20 3.0 Boost, just a little modified. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because the L20 3.0 Boost is a really nice bike, but I wasn't really sure why it was new and what its purpose was, if that makes sense. That was until the box arrived and I lifted it out when I was building it, and it's actually quite light, so it makes the folding much more practical. But we'll get on to that. Now, I'm going to cheat and tell you that I like this bike. One thing I will say is, if you're thinking of buying it, buy it soon, very soon. I have a feeling they're going to sell pretty fast, and in addition, if you buy it at the start you get a discounted price, you get an air tag, a bike lock and the rear rack included, and I believe they're doing it first come first served again, so when they've run out of these things you don't get them anymore. As always, if you use my discount code noob-ebike-guy you get 10% off the purchase as well, so if you buy it at the start you're getting a really good bargain, to be honest. The other thing is, if you hang around and wait, they tend to start pretty quickly and you've got to wait for them to build stock back up and then ship it back over here, and it could be weeks or months. So if you want one, get it as soon as you can. So the bike came in one of Engwe'S smaller boxes, and as always, lots of packaging, really well protected. Came as it's meant to. Now, when I received it, there was more building to do than on previous Engwe bikes. Now, I'm not fully sure if you'll have to do the same amount of building, or they'll adjust it when they send out to like mass sales and stuff. So basically I had to put on the front wheel, the front mudguard, the front light, the pedals. I had to put the seat on the seat post and attach the seat. Also, randomly, the front brake caliper wasn't actually attached to the frame, so I had to screw that to the frame, but then once I screwed it on, it fit perfectly. As always, the brakes were on the wrong way around, so the left was actually the front brake again, so I had to swap them back over to what they're meant to be. It's not hard, basically just unscrew the little nut that connects the hose to the brake lever on both sides, pull it out and then clip it back in the other side and tighten up the knot again. It's really easy if you know what you're doing. Now, as always, for some reason I don't know why, but they leave the actual axle out of the front wheel. That comes in the box and you have to put it in yourself. Sometimes it's a little confusing because the spacers might be slightly different sizes, so you've got to work out which spacers for which side. Now, on this bike it had basically a metal bracket with a magnet attached, and I was like, what's that for? And at this point I didn't realise that the brake caliper was like wrapped up in bubble wrap. So I thought there was no brakes in the front. I was like, is this some sort of mad braking mechanism? Like, I had no idea at all. I basically guessed which side it went on and built the bike. As it happened, I guessed right. So basically when you build yours, put the magnet on the brake disc side. Basically the magnet has a metal plate on the rear wheel as well, so when you fold it they're meant to connect and keep it together basically. So I built the bike, got it all charged, and obviously when you buy a bike the best thing to do is take the battery out as soon as you can, get it on charge, and then while you're building it it's charging so you can use it sooner. My first impressions were it's very smooth, very quiet and very light, and then I realised I didn't like the boost. The problem wasn't actually the boost, the problem was Engwe have tried to organise the handlebars in a pretty unlogical fashion. Basically they put the bell next to the controls and then the boost button after that. So when I'm trying to ride, the boost button's a little too far away from my phone to actually press it comfortably, so I have to kind of take my hand off the handlebars to press the boost button, and it wasn't practical at all. So for me personally, it's better to take the bell off, move the boost button closer to the actual controls and put the bell on the other side, and I was happy with that. Right, so I think it's time to look at the bits. So the wheels on this are 20 by 2 inch sport wheels. The brakes are hydraulic with 160mm discs, plenty of stopping power to be honest. The mudguards are both plastic, which I actually really like because they do exactly the same job, they're less noisy, they're less clanky, and should something happen to them and they get tangled in your wheels, they're less likely to throw you off the bike and stuff, so I think plastic is the best way. The lights on this are basically the same ones as the L20 3.0 Boost. They're plenty bright enough, The rear light is a brake light, but only on motion, so basically it does nothing when you press it, but then if you slow down rapidly, it goes off by itself. It detects your motion itself and turns on the brake light. As standard, the bike only has front suspension, but that works fine, to be honest. The seat's padded and reasonably comfortable, but not quite as comfortable as other bikes they've produced. It's a little bit on the firm side. As standard, the bike comes with a solid seat post, but I got sent the suspension seat post, which you can buy separately, and it did its job. The suspension was smooth and comfortable, to be honest. Now the bike I got sent came with a rear rack. Now I'm not sure if that's standard or a separate extra, but either way I'd definitely recommend getting that, because even if you don't intend to use it, a rear rack's so useful. I'm not really sure why it's so sturdy either, because it kind of connects both arms to the back wheel, and then in the centre it connects to the plastic mudguard. But where it connects to the plastic mudguard, there's very little movement, so I'm not really sure how they've done that, but it works really well. On the rack it says it's a 15 kg load limit, so it's plenty for you shopping and little bits and that. The pedals are functional. I'm not really a fan of these pedals. I mean, they're folding, but there's not enough grip on them for me. I'd prefer just grippier pedals and not folding, to be honest. But they do the job, it's just a bit slippy in the end. The display is nice, big, bright, colourful, very functional. It's the exact same one of the E20 3.0 Boost, to be honest, and it works really well. The bike has an 8-speed Shimano Altus gear system, so the gears are great. The stand on this is kind of unique and a bit weird. Basically it has some mechanism inside that when you put it down, the second arm comes out and spreads it out. When you fold it back in, it automatically puts it away. When it's open, it's kind of like a motorbike centre stand, but the difference is the mechanism's not very strong, so you have to actually lift the back wheel off the floor to put it in and put it out, otherwise it doesn't really work properly. Now, what I really like about the stand is, I've moaned for quite a while about the Engwe bikes. What they usually have is this little bracket underneath the pedals that's there to put your bike on while it's folded. And it's alright, but then I live in a flat and every time I go down the stairs it catches on the stairs and I have to lift my bike up over the top stair, and it's a nightmare. I hate it. Now on this, because of the way the stand works, you can actually put the stand down and fold it while it's on the stand, which gives you more stability and a better solution than that bracket was. So it's a win-win for me, I really like it. Now the battery, and I don't think I'm really qualified to speak about this time. Engwe basically told us from the start that the battery they're going to send isn't the battery that's going to come with it. They're struggling for parts, and the one that they're going to send customers is going to be a more amp-hour battery, so more range. The one they did send me I got like 32 mile from, and that was in pedal assist 5 without any easing off the bike to do all the work, so decent range. And if they're getting you a better battery, you could be looking at 35-40 mile from a single charge. This also comes with a 4 amp fast charger, so you're looking at about 4 hours for a full charge, which is really handy. So, what do I think of the bike? I actually think Engwe have done a really good job. For me, you had the E20 3.0 Boost, which was fantastic, and the Pro, which was even better. But as folding bikes, they wasn't amazing. They were alright to fold, but then they're quite heavy, so they're awkward to lift and stuff. But then Engwe brought out the Engwe Zip, and that did the folding job fantastic. The lightweight part really well, but then you lost some riding function and some power. Like, it's a good bike for zipping around town and like in urban areas, but it's not really a bike. Now don't get me wrong, the Zip's fantastic. It does its job really well. If you want a bike that's tiny, you can throw in the back of your car, pull out, go around town, it's perfect, it really is. But then if you want a bike to go cycling on, it's not really that bike. This is more a convenience bike, a short trip bike, a nip round town bike, and it does it perfect. Now the E20 Boost is somewhere in the middle, because it's bigger than the Zip, it's heavier than the Zip, but it's not heavy. It's still a really good folding compact bike that you can put in your boot and use. But because it's bigger and it weighs a little bit more, it's more stable to ride, it's more rideable, it's more like a bike. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's just a better bike. The thing that surprised me is, even though it's quite lighter than the E20 3.0 Boost, you're not sacrificing any power. I don't know why they've said that way, I don't know why it's so much lighter but still the same power. So for me it's kind of a hybrid between the Zip and the ENGWE 3.0 Boost, because you're getting all the power but it's still light enough to be like the Zip, so you're not really compromising too much. I won't lie, the ENGWE 3.0 Boost, it's a more comfortable ride. The rear suspension works really well, and the seat post on this isn't up to that standard. The seat on the ENGWE 3.0 Boost is bigger, more padded, so it is more comfortable. It's not massively more comfortable, but it's more comfortable. And then you have the ENGWE 3.0 Pro, which is a step up from the ENGWE 3.0 Boost. It's significantly better, but again the price is more. So yeah, I believe the ENGWE 3.0 series are better bikes, but they're also heavier, and when you fold them they're quite awkward to carry because they're heavy. This is the compromise. If you're going to be folding it all the time, putting it in your boot, taking it places, riding it around them places, putting it back in your boot, that kind of thing, or you're living upstairs flat and you have to carry it upstairs every time, this is a better bike. It's lighter, and that lightness makes it far more practical. So yeah, for me it's all about what you want to use it for and your limitations really. If you want a legitimate folding bike that's practical, I think this is the best one to sell. If you're not really going to be folding it often, like once every blue moon, then you're not going to have to carry it, I'd still go for the ENGWE 3.0 Pro or the Engine Pro 3.0 Boost. They're the top Engwe bikes to be honest, but this is a really good bike. As always, if you use my discount code noob-ebike-guy, you can get 10% off any of the Engwe bikes, so pretty handy. So yeah, for me, Engwe have done a fantastic job. Really well made bike, really nice to ride, really smooth, really quiet, and it fits its niche perfectly. So, go and get yourself a new bike. So, once again, if you've got this far, thank you for watching. If you like the content I'm making, please do like, share and subscribe, it really does help. Any questions or comments, pop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. And I'll see you in the next video.